Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode here in NHL 24. So in last episode, we decided just to stay course and simulate the rest of the season, and this young team managed to make the playoffs with a record of 45-34-3. And now we're going to be taking on the Colorado Avalanche in the first round, which are probably going to pose a big threat. They went 50-20 at 12. But we did beat them in our last matchup against them during the regular season. But we are coming into the playoffs in a little bit of a heater, so I don't really think we're going to have much of a chance to win here in the first round. But at least, once again, it is valuable experience for our boys. But you can see over the stretch of the last 5 games, we've had very good defensive efforts. 2-1 there. 3-0 loss is still a good defensive game, I'd say, for the most part, because who knows, maybe even that third goal was an empty net goal. And in these last 3 games, we didn't allow very much of anything. We only allowed 1 goal to the Dallas Stars in our last 3 games going into the playoffs. So very happy with how the team did this year. We got some really good production from a lot of guys. And I'm hoping, obviously, that it continues to trend in that direction. Because guys like Michael Misa led the team in points with 89. You had Irving on 87, 49 goals already, which is incredible. You had Cole Perfetti on 86, Stankoven on 80, Lucius on 77, Michelli on 75, Luke Misa on 60 in his rookie season. Like, it was just a very good offensive season for our team because our goaltending numbers weren't necessarily the best, so we definitely are more of an offensive-based team at the moment. But once that defensive core gets a lot more good prospects into it, I think we definitely could turn it around into being a good two-way team, and hopefully that is the case. But yeah, Colorado poses a very big threat. It's definitely going to be very tough for us to beat them. They do have a pretty similar roster to when we've played them multiple times here in this series. I'll show you guys that in a second. But there is one thing that I mentioned in last episode that I just wanted to bring up. If we are to get eliminated, it's not the end of the world, because we do also have San Jose's first round pick this year, and they did not make the playoffs, which is the insane thing. So they have technically one of the best odds at getting the first overall pick. As you can see, they finished in 26th. So there is a chance that we could end up like maybe winning a playoff series or having good playoff experience at least, and getting a very high up pick in the draft. That pick could also stay where it is, but if it jumps like Montreal or Philadelphia and goes into a top 5 pick, that would be incredible to get, considering I don't remember exactly what we gave up to get this pick. But it is just very nice to have ourselves a lottery pick and make the playoffs, because then we are getting experience for this young team, and we're also getting a potential really good player with that pick, because this year's draft has a franchise player, if I remember right. Yes, Peyton Eckford. He's supposed to go first overall, so if we are lucky, maybe we get a franchise guy. But then again, we don't technically need to have the first overall pick, because if we even get second or third, we could get ourselves a very good defenseman. So there is Will Vandermeer, who's an OFD, which would be really great to have. He could be like a replacement for what we had with Josh Morrissey. There's also Virtanen, who's a two-way defenseman. Then it kind of seems to drop off a little bit, but there's also even Jeffrey Keeping. So there is a good chunk of defensemen here early on. So if we could get a top 5 pick, that would be great. Once again, we could try also moving up in the draft when we get there, because of the fact we have 2 first rounders. So who knows what we end up getting in this year's draft. But let me show you guys what the Colorado Avalanche are made of, and then I'll show you guys, or get through your guys' comments, because we do have a couple comments to go through. But let's show you guys what Colorado is made of, and then we'll get also soon into this first round and see what we could do against them. But you can see they're pretty much what they've been for like a long time at this point. Landeskog, McKinnon, Rantanen, Yashushkin, Johansson, and Woods. So those guys have been there since the beginning. Then you also have like Gabriel Fortier, Jake Evans, Igor Sokolov, and a 4th line of Nick Petan, Cole Sillinger, and Giovanni Smith. So they have a little bit of grit with Giovanni Smith there. And then from a defensive standpoint, it's pretty much their defensive core from years past as well. Taze McCarr, Attard, and Byram, and then Girard, and our former defenseman Dylan Sandberg. Goaltending wise, they do have Stuart Skinner again and Malcolm Subban. And in depth wise, they don't really have the best players. They have Gaudette, Robertson, and Logan Brown. So there is that. Now let's get into your guys' comments, and then we will get into this first round matchup and see if we could actually win a series. So the first comment is from Michael Dose, who says, I got Winnipeg in 6 over Colorado. Got a feeling Winnipeg makes a deep run this playoffs. It'd be interesting if we do make a deep run. I mean, like, this team obviously it could use that experience, but at the same time, I don't know if we necessarily need to. but it would be nice to get a cup early with this young squad, and then they could win multiple cups once we start adding more to the blue line and all that type of thing. Like, we already have one Stanley Cup in the series when we had the original squad, but now it would be nice to get that youth movement at least like a couple rounds in, so that way they're getting that experience, then eventually winning Stanley Cups if they can. And then the last and final comment is from Sanoran Taku, who says, Irving is developing into a player who will likely end up among third-round greats like Messier, Pat Verbeek, and Brad Richards. For the playoffs, I think you'll take Colorado to 7 games, but fall there. I'm more excited to see where your first-round pick from San Jose lands. And yeah, that's kind of my thing as well. I'm excited to see, obviously, what this team does in this playoff scenario, but also it is nice to know where San Jose's pick is going to land for us, because if it ends up being the first overall pick, imagine just picking up a franchise guy with somebody else's pick. Like, it's pretty insane. But yeah, Aiden Irving is definitely a very successful player in the series, and hopefully he only just gets better from here on out. Obviously, he's currently playing on the top line with Misa and Michelli, but he's been very good. He's got 2 40-goal seasons in his bag, almost 2 50-goal seasons, and he's a very good power play scorer. We know that he doesn't really do as much in the playoffs so far, but maybe this is a coming out party for him, and maybe he can start scoring some goals in the postseason as well. But yeah, very much like this guy. It's kind of an interesting player because he doesn't have the most power in his shot, but he has very good accuracy, and that's probably why he's able to score goals alongside that offensive awareness. So yeah, very excited to see what he continues to develop like, and he's going to be definitely a very good player to have in that top 6 for the long haul. So anyways, there's that. Let's get into our first game against the Avs and see if we're able to maybe pull off the upset, so to speak, because even though we beat them in our last regular season game, they were a very good regular season team with the 50 wins. So can we pull off an upset? We obviously do not have home ice advantage against them. They have home ice. Let's see what happens. Game 1 at the Ball Arena. Let's see if we can get off to a good start. We might make some adjustments to our lineup depending on how we play in this first game. First period of game number 1. And it's 3-1 Avs. Exactly kind of what I was expecting. Deg is not experienced yet in the playoffs, so you don't think he would be probably performing that good. But Gabriel Fortier opens the scoring. Nathan MacKinnon makes it 2-0. Chaz gets us on the board. That's all within the first 3 minutes of the game, which is kind of nuts. And then Nathan MacKinnon scores 7 minutes later. So not the best of starts for Deg, allowing 2 goals in the first 2 minutes of this first game of his in the playoffs. But once again, it is experience that he'll learn from, hopefully, and take that with him into future series and future years in his career. Shots are 13-13, but it's a 3-1 lead for them. Can we claw back into this game? Second period. 6-2. Oh my goodness. Michael Misa scores a short-handed goal to get us within 1, but they get 3 straight goals. Gerard on the power play, Evans on the power play, and Miles Wood. Yeah, this is not a great first game. We've allowed 2 power play goals and a lot of regular strength goals. Shots are pretty even, so we're definitely up to par with them and taking chances, but our goaltending is right now the problem, or our defensive core, which is kind of exactly what I expected, but not an ideal first game here. We'll see if we're able to bounce back in next game. Like, if we could at least win 1 game against the Avs, it would be good for us because it's beating a very good team. But Devon Toews makes it 7-2. Dostal's now in net. I don't know if he was in net for the last goal too in the second period or not, but both goaltenders have gotten some touches in net, and even though we just had the exact same amount of shots as them, we lose by 5 goals. So that definitely goes to show you this team is not necessarily up to par with the Avs. Like, they have the valuable experience and all that stuff from winning cups. And yeah, they have the good goaltending. So that's definitely where we need to address in the future. But for right now, obviously, it doesn't matter too much. So Lucius from Perfetti and Heinola, and then Misa from Misa. Oh, that's actually cool. That's, I think, the first time we've seen Misa from Misa. That's actually really cool. That might go down as one of the greatest goals in Winnipeg Jets history, just because it was the Misa from a Misa. Because they both are on the same short-handed unit, so that's actually really sick. So despite that loss, I'm happy with the Misa from Misa goal, but obviously that was not a great enough effort, so I might rework some stuff defensively a little bit, because obviously we gave up around the same amount of shots as we had, so that's not a big problem, but allowing all those goals is definitely a big problem. Considering we just shut them out 2-0 in the last regular season game, only to allow them to score 7 goals here. Not ideal. So, let's go with See if there's any... Oh, okay, that works. We'll go with Galvis with Palin, and then Thompson will be down on the top 6, because we do still have Kyrou out. That might have been part of the problem. Once Kyrou returns, then Galvis will go probably back down to the top 6 pairing. But, yeah, Jack Thompson will go down there for now. Yeah, that should be good and ready to go. I might actually start Dostal this game, though. Because, yeah, Gabriel Deg was absolutely tragic. Because how much goals did he allow in? He allowed 3 goals on 11 shots. That's not good. In 15 minutes as well. And then Dostal wasn't much better, but we'll put Dostal in net just to give him some experience again. I don't know if we really have anything else we could call up. Yeah, we don't really have anything we could call up unless we want to give a 72 overall goalie a chance. We also do have Colton White. I forgot that we claimed on waivers that we could call up if we really need to from a defensive standpoint. But right now we don't have that much defensive injuries, so it's not the biggest issue. From an offensive standpoint, I think we got to keep the lineup pretty much the exact same, unless we want to swap Perfetti and Misa, but I don't think we do. Let's just go back to Kumpalainen down the middle, Lindstrom on the wing. And yeah, we'll just keep the rest of the team the same because, like I said, I don't really care too much if we lose this playoff round. Like, it's playoff experience for the boys anyways. Obviously, that first round pick from San Jose is the most intriguing part about probably this episode. But let's get into game 2. We're down 1-0 in the series. Can we have a good response? Play a little bit better defensively at least, and maybe get our offense going a little bit. Because Irving didn't score any goals last game, so it would be nice for him to show up after having 40-something goals in the regular season. He might be more of a regular season guy, which is not great. But first period of game number 2. Can we get back into the series? 1-1. That's a much better period because last time we were down 3-1. Lucius does open the scoring for us again on the power play. So Lucius has goals in back-to-back games. Gabriel Forte tied it up late. Shots are 12-12 and it's 1-1. So very even series in terms of the shot chart. Because last game, obviously, the shots were even. But we did lose by 5 goals. But in a way, it's been kind of close in terms of getting chances on goal at least. Can we have a big second period here and keep either this game tied or grab the lead? Second period, 5-3. Wow, we just completely fall apart out of nowhere sometimes. Dostal allows 3 straight goals in the first 5 minutes of the second period. Sillinger puts them up 5-1, but Lucius and Hellenius have us back within 2. Another power play goal. Yeah, that was not a great period. Shots are 24-21. Our goaltending has been tragic. Our defensive play has also been not great. Can we have a good third period and maybe claw back into this, or are we going to lose another game allowing a ton of goals? Power play. We do not score on it. Yeah, this looks like another offensive loss, but at least we're kind of hanging around in this game compared to last one. Oh my goodness, never mind. Forte makes it 6-3. Back-to-back games allowing 6 goals. Yikes. Yeah, I think it's probably because Kyrou's out, but I mean, he's an OFD, but still, we lose 6-3 in game 2. Shots were in our favor, 34-31. So we are getting our opportunities, but we're not converting, and then we're giving up way too much on little chances. So that's not a great game, but it is what it is. Like we were saying, this is just valuable experience for the kids. Hopefully we can win on home ice, so that would be good. Lucius from Perfetti and Misa, Lucius from Groshek and the other Misa, and then Hellenius from Thompson. A couple of our big names haven't even showed up yet, which is not ideal. So I might honestly rework the top 4 group a little bit just to see if we could get something going. But yeah, this is a really rough start to the playoffs as Kyrou has returned, which is great. Maybe that'll give us a little bit more offense to our back end. So we will swap out Mr. Jack Thompson with Mr. Kyrou. And then Kyrou will go all the way up here. And our defensive core is pretty much back to the way it should be, which is good. And I honestly don't know which goalie I want to run with. Both of them have been very bad. I might honestly just keep it with Dag because he's young and he needs that experience more than Dostal does. In terms of the rest of this, let's swap Perfetti and Misa just for something different, just to kind of balance out maybe the offense a bit. Let's go back to the Stank oven on the 3rd line, and we'll go back to Luke Misa as the 4th line center. We'll move Groshek into the top 6, and then we'll move Lindstrom down as well, or up as well. Yeah, I think we're just going to make some rapid quick adjustments like that. Even though the Misas have been good, to demote them a little bit. Didn't also give Grosek a big opportunity because he is more of a goal scorer. It would be nice to get him going. And from a defensive standpoint, obviously it had already changed a little bit with Cairo being back. But this is going to be our team for this playoff run potentially. We'll see if we're able to win at least one game. We've been outscored 13-5 in our first 2 games, so we need our goalies to make saves. Because I don't know if it's been our defense really or if it's been our goaltending that's to blame. But yeah, our goaltending has been very bad so far, and that's definitely somewhere where we need to address. We do have some goalie prospects already, but we could always use a couple more. Gabriel Deg is definitely the goalie still, I think, of the future, but he is definitely a long ways away from being a good playoff goaltender, it seems like, at this point. So anyways, let's get to game number 3. We're back on home ice. Can we win some home games to maybe give us a good chance of getting back into the series, or are we going to lose our 3rd straight? First period of game number 3. And it's 2-1 Avs. We scored first again, and it's Lucius again. Lucius has got 3 goals in the series, and they've all been first period goals, which is really weird. But then Sandberg, of course, scores against us, and Mikko Rantanen scores. The shots are 13-11 in favor of Colorado, and we're only down by a goal. So this one is not as bad of a period, but obviously last game we were tied after 1. It would be nice to have a good second period for a change, because last game, that's where we lost the game pretty much, is because we sat out. Like, we didn't do much in the second period. Let's see if we can claw back into this game in a second. Second period? 6-3. What's with our second periods? Jeez, man. We tied the game up. They get 3 goals in a row, and they're all within quick succession again. Forte, Landeskog, Wood. And then Lucius gets us back on the board again, but then Girard scores. Yeah, I don't really know what to make of our goaltending right now. We're definitely going to look at some player stats just to see who's been really bad defensively, but that's the 3rd straight game we've allowed 6 or more goals. We make it 7-4 with a goal from Hellenius, a power play goal from Lindstrom, Perfetti with a power play goal. What the hell is happening? It's 7-6 all of a sudden. It's 7-7. Grosek, his first playoff goal. Landeskog answers back to make it 8-7 Avs. Goddamn, man. Please don't lose 8-7. You could tie it. You just scored a lot of goals this period. Power play late in the game, we do not score, and we do lose 8-7. After we had such a great comeback, Landeskog had to do that to us. But hey, good offensive game, but our defense and goaltending has been atrocious. Like, this might be the worst playoff performance I've seen goaltending-wise. Wow. So, yeah, we were trailing drastically going into the 3rd, and then they scored early on again, but then we get 4 straight goals. A couple of them were like 12 seconds apart, which is kind of crazy. Grosek then scored his first ever playoff goal, but of course Landeskog had the answer. And we lose 8-7. Goddamn, man. That was a crazy game. I thought we were going to win that when we tied it up, but oh well. Lucius from Stankoven and Misa. Stankoven from Kane and Hellenius. Lucius from Perfetti. Not Girard, doesn't matter about him. Hellenius from Cairo and Perfetti. Lindstrom for Perfetti and Stankoven. Perfetti from Misa and Lindstrom. And Grosek from Lucius and Misa. Wow, okay. So Lucius gets 3rd star, 3 points for us. But then, yeah, Rantanen and Landeskog kind of killed us a bit. So that veteran presence, which is something we don't really have because we're a very young team. Perfetti had 4 points in that game. It was a -3. Oh my goodness. Misa had 3 points. Lucius had 3. Stankoven had 3. Lindstrom had 2, which is cool. Same with Hellenius and a couple guys on 1 point. But holy crap, man. We just allow way too much goals. And look at that performance from Dag. He was in net for all 8 goals. Well, he's learning the hard way, definitely, because at least he's learning some playoff experience, but he's also learning the troubles of allowing a ton of goals. Like, his morale probably should be going way down after performances like that. That is craziness. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that bad of an effort from a goaltender in the first 3 games. Like, both goaltenders haven't been good. And now we are on the brink of being swept in this first round, which is kind of exactly what I was expecting from this team, but let me just take a look quickly at the plus minuses in our lineup and see if there's anything we got to do to adjust it a little bit. But I don't think we're going to even be able to claw back into the series at this rate. Michelli's a -7 with no points in 3 games. Oof. And then you have Perfetti, who's been good on 6 points, but he's also -7. Irving's a -5 with no points. That second line, not as bad defensively. That third line, a little bit bad. it's mostly been that top line with Michelli and Irving, so we are going to make some adjustments here. We're going to move Matias Michelli down to the second line. And we are going to move Irving down to the second line. So our former top line is now going to be our second line. Groshek's going to be playing on the top line with Perfetti and Lucius, because Lucius has been one of our best players so far. Actually, we're going to move Stankoven in that spot, and we'll have Groshek playing on that third line with Lindstrom down the middle because he's a power forward. And he's going to play with Helenius still. Actually, Luke Misa could definitely get that opportunity instead. Never mind, because I do like Luke Misa's play so far. We'll go something like that. From a defensive standpoint, not really anybody that's super badly minus other than Palin, who's only a -4, but our defense not as bad so far. But look at the goaltending numbers. Oh my goodness, Gabriel Deg might have the worst playoff stats I've ever seen. Wow, 3 games played with a .796 save percentage. Well, he's still going to stay in net, I think, next game because he needs to learn, but goddamn, yeah, there's not really a good choice to put who in net. Okay, we're just gonna run with this. Like I said, I don't really care too much about this first round, but this is experience that a lot of the boys on the team are not going to be happy with, especially the goaltending. Like Gabriel Deg doing this in his first ever playoffs. Hopefully he's much better in the future, or else we're definitely gonna have to look for other goaltenders to replace him. Anyways, let's get into game 4. We are on the brink of elimination, so we will not do a real-time simulation. It's kind of pointless considering we're down 0-3. We'll do a real-time simulation if we could start clawing back into the series. But first period of game 4, can we win a game in the series? Hey, we're up 1-0 after 1. A power play goal from Groshek. So Groshek's got a couple goals, which is nice to see. Would be nice also to see Irving show up, considering he has so much goals in the regular season, but for some reason, playoff-wise, he hasn't shown to be that guy so far. Shots are 9-8 in favor of us. It's a 1-0 lead, so good first period. Can we bounce back in the second and add some more goals? And can the goaltending play good in the second period for a change? Second period. 3-0. Let's go. There is our Aiden Irving. If we reverse sweep the Avs after that, I'm going to be surprised. But I can see it happening considering we got dominated every 3 games, or all 3 games. But so far, we're up 3-0. Irving made it 2-0, and Michael Misa, who's been one of our better players, makes it 3-0. The shots are 22-19. Let's see what happens in this third period, see if we can lock it down. Power play for us. They get a goal right afterwards. Mikko Rantanen gets the Avs on the board, but Stankoven answers back. Let's go, Stank. That's a good one. We're almost into the final 10 minutes of this third period, up by a 3-goal lead. Power play again, and we do not score again. Final 5 minutes. Devon Taves gets them back in the game to make it 4-2. Penalty kill late in the game, and they get another one. Rantanen makes it 4-3. But Deg is going to hold them off and win his first playoff game. Let's go. A much better performance from Deg. Not the best still. I mean, he made 31 saves, but we almost blew that game late. But we do get ourselves back into the series, down now 3-1. We do have the chance to still win some more games. So Groshek from Michelli and Kyrou, Irving from Michelli and Misa, Misa from Kyrou, and then Stankoven from Perfetti and Kyrou. So Michelli and Irving getting moved in the lineup seem to have helped a little bit. Misa gets first star, Rantanen the second star, and Christian Kyrou with 3 assists gets the third star. Not bad. So that's a solid game. And now we can see if we could actually claw it back in the series. But we are heading back to Colorado. Last 2 games that we played in Colorado, we got outscored so badly. So this is definitely going to be a very tough game for our team. But we're going to keep the team the same. We had a good last game. Might as well put them in all like that again for this next game, Game 5. Let's see if we can force a Game 6. Because if we can force a Game 6, maybe we're starting to claw back into it. And we're not going to do a real-time simulation until the next game if there is another next game. So first period of game number 5. Can we get back into this and can we have a better effort in Colorado? First period. It is scoreless. I'll take that. Shots are 11-7. Good defensive period, but we didn't get a lot of shots on goal. So need to get more rubber to the net if we can. Let's see if we can break this deadlock. Second period. It is 2-0 Jets. Let's go. Irving and Stankoven. Okay, we're all of a sudden starting to make a little bit of noise, which I'm liking. Shots are 20-17 in favor of the Avs, but we're up by a pair of goals. Let's get some insurance and lock this one down here, boys, if possible. Let's see what happens in this third period. I had to drink some water because my voice is just dying on me already. Come on, boys, lock it down. Penalty kill. Nicely done, penalty killers. Nicely done. Perfetti makes it 3-0. We're going to be forcing a game 6, I think, which makes me feel like we might reverse sweep them, which would be insane. And we are going to win a shutout game 3-0. Gabriel Dag, 34 saves. Has he been rejuvenated after those first 3 games? So Irving from Misa and Michelli, Stankoven from Perfetti, and Perfetti from Stankoven and Lucius. So our top 6 has came alive these last 2 games. And yeah, Gabriel Dag, the first star of the game. What an effort. Stankoven, the second star, and Perfetti, the third star. So I know Dag was bad in those first 3 games, but he's now all of a sudden like kind of learning a little bit, and who knows what could happen, because now we're back into the series. If we win this game on home ice, we go to a game 7 where Colorado is probably shitting bricks at that point, considering we were down 0-3, getting completely decimated in those first 3 games. Like, we were getting outscored in those first 3 games, 21 to like 12, or yeah, 21 to 12, I think, if my math is right. Over these last 2 games now, we've outscored them 7-3. So have the tides turned? We're going to keep our team the exact same, and we will do a real-time simulation of this game because we have a chance to tie the series. So can Gabriel Dag do it again? And can our defense continue to play a little bit better? Can our offense continue to score goals? Let's see what happens. Can we force a game 7 back in Denver? They open the scoring, Igor Sokolov, but we have an answer right back. It's Chaz Lucius. Let's go, Lucius. Lucius has definitely been one of our best goal scorers in this first round. Come on, boys. Let's go. Thomas Galvis. I think that might be one of his first ever playoff goals. Makes it 2-1 for your Jets. Let's go. That's a big goal from Galvis from the blue line. We're being outshot 11-8, but we do have a lead after 1. We are playing much better hockey these last few games, which is a very good sign for the future, at least. Let's see what happens in the second period, see if we can get some insurance, because that would be very nice. Come on, boys. Oh, Fort J makes it 2-2. It's okay. Yeah, that was Gabrielle on Gabrielle. That's funny. Come on, boys. Let's get one back. Let's get... Oh, my goodness. Giovanni Smith, of all people. But we do have an answer. Cole Perfetti ties the game up at 3. Let's go, Perfetti. He's been playing really good, too, as of late. And we're going to go into the third period tied at 3. If we win this period, we're going to a game 7. If we lose it, we lose in 6 games. But this team has a little bit of like a psychological edge in a sense. Like, the Avs are definitely overthinking things by allowing us to score this much goals. Let's see what happens in this third period. This might be our last period of the season, or are we going to force a game 7 after being down 0-3? Come on, boys. Let's get that one. I know some of you... Oh, my goodness. Miles Wood. Why is it always when I say that our team has it? We answer right back again. Grosek. Okay. Philip Grosek's also been turning it on lately. Power play for us late in the game. We do not score on it. That's okay. And are we going to overtime? No, we are not. Are you serious? Oh, my goodness. Well, that sucks. That's kind of a heartbreaker. We were literally minutes away from going to an overtime to potentially stay off elimination. And 29 seconds left. Val Nichushkin scores. Not the best effort from Dag, but it was a good effort from the team to potentially get back into the series. And we are out in round 1 against a 50-win team, as we probably should be. So, Lucius from Stankoven and Perfetti. Galvis from Perfetti. Perfetti from Lucius. And Grosek from Hemming and Kumpalainen. But unfortunately, we lose that one. Perfetti, the first star of the game, he had 7 hits in that game, which is kind of nuts. Lucius, the second star, 2 points. And Val Nichushkin won the game. He gets third star. I'd say it was an okay effort. I mean, obviously the first 3 games, not very good. But, I mean, the fact that we almost came back and got it to a game 7, I do like the resiliency of this team. Because we definitely turned it around in over these last few games. But our goaltending is definitely somewhere where it needs to be still worked on. And our defensive play as well, for sure. But let's take a look at our player stats and wrap up this playoff run. And then obviously we're going to see if we actually end up winning the draft lottery, which will be very interesting to see. Hopefully we can at least get a top 5 pick. but we will try and maybe move up for one of those defensemen if we can't get that franchise guy. Yeah, Perfetti was great, 12 points in 6 games. Lucius was really good, so there is definitely some positives to take away from how we played. Misa was good, Stankoven was good. Like, all those guys were over a point per game. And then Luke Misa was kind of quiet, but he did assist on his brother's goal, which was kind of cool. Kumpalainen doesn't really do much offensively, so I'm okay with that. Grosek on 3 goals and 4 points, not terrible, but he needed to be maybe a little bit better earlier on, but he definitely started to find his game a little bit. Michelli on 3 assists, -6. Not really sold on the defense. Maybe he's a guy that gets moved away in the offseason. Lindstrom on 2 points, Hellenius on 3 points. Aiden Irving only on 2 goals. He needs to be definitely a little bit better in terms of goal scoring in the postseason, because now he's only got 5 goals in 22 playoff games, but he's got 125 and 246 regular season games. So definitely seems to be a regular season type of guy right now. And then we have Hemming on 1 point. Defensively, Cairo had 4 points in 4 games coming back from injury, but was -3. Galvis with a goal. Thompson had an assist in 2 games. Nolan Kane had an assist. And nothing from Kolyachonok or our defenseman, Dennis Palin. So in terms of scoring in general on our team, there was only a few players with no points, those being Kolyachonok and Palin. So I liked our depth scoring, but obviously the amount of goals we allowed, not very good. Hellenius, Misa, Michelli, all very badly minus, and a lot of other guys were like -3. Goaltending wise, it was probably because of the goaltending. Lucas Dostal was like really bad, and then Gabriel Zeg started to find his game in those last 3 games a bit, but his first 3 games of the playoffs were very, very bad too. So goaltending definitely should improve, but it definitely was our weakest point, I think, on the team. So there is that. Now the question is, who's going to win the Stanley Cup? Where are we going to be drafting? All that stuff this year. This is where it's going to get very enticing to see what happens, because if we somehow get that franchise player, that would be insane. And I don't even honestly know if I'd need them, because we already have some good centers. But the AHL team is still in the playoffs right now, so we'll see if they end up getting a chance for the Calder Cup. No, they got eliminated already. Never mind. That kind of sucks. Let's see. Who's going to be the Cup champions in 2029? The Edmonton Oilers. Okay, so Connor McDavid getting it done, and Wilkes-Barre wins the Calder Cup. Let's take a look at those award winners. See who was on that cup-winning Edmonton Oilers team. Let's see. Go to Edmonton, and obviously Connor McDavid should be the foremost front of that team. Same with Draisaitl, I guess. But let's take a look at here. Yeah, Draisaitl, McDavid, Nuge. They brought in Danton Heinen. Holloway was good. They brought in David Kampf, Radek Faksa. So a pretty normal Edmonton team, but a couple new faces. Brendan Gallagher, our former guy, Alex Barabanov was there actually too. So shout out to Barabanov for going on to win a Stanley Cup. Defensively, they brought in Michael Matheson, who was insanely good. Jeez. Sebastian Aho, Susi. Okay. And then goaltending wise, they had Philip Gustafson in between the pipes. Love to see it. So there is the cup-winning Edmonton Oilers team. Let's take a look at those awards now. So yeah, Edmonton wins the Stanley Cup, their first of the series, it looks like. They also won the President's Trophy for the 2nd straight year. And then it was Edmonton and Boston in the Cup Finals rematch of 1990, I think, which is kind of cool. Except for no Cam Neely and all that. Austin Matthews, the Art Ross for the 2nd consecutive season. Nathan McKinnon, the Hart. Cale Makar to Norris for the 4th straight year. Crazy. Nick Ehlers won the Lady Byng. Cool to see that. Former player of ours, obviously now in Chicago. Dante Guerin, I think his name was, once the Calder with Chicago. We had Connor Brown win the Conn Smythe. I guess that's how you get both the Conn and Conn Smythe. But that's kind of weird. McDavid not winning the Conn Smythe and Connor Brown winning it. Spencer Knight the Vezina for the 2nd consecutive year. Philip Gustafson the Jennings, him and Mac Guzda. Andrew Peak the Masterton. Pittsburgh's coach to Jack Adams. Rossi to Selke. McKinnon the Lindsay. And Matthews the Richard again. AHL-wise, any AHL awards for our team? Does not look like it, unfortunately. Tyler Seguin in the minors for Coachella is kind of funny. So there is the awards. Okay, so now that we've seen that, the question is, where are we going to be drafting? We have good odds to potentially have a very good pick this year. If need be, we could always try and move up, but Where are we going to be drafting with that San Jose pick this year? Are we going to win a franchise player with it? Please. Please. No. We stay at 7. That's not bad, but we definitely want to maybe move up for an elite player because that's only going to guarantee us a top 6 or something like that. Well, that sucks. I thought it would go up higher than that, but 7 is still a decent pick to have, obviously, from that trade that we made. And, yeah, St. Louis has first overall, so St. Louis likely going to get that franchise guy. But we could definitely try and move up for one of those defenders if we want to. Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin both retire in the same season. That's crazy. Patrick Kane also retires. Joe Pavelski. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins retires with another Stanley Cup, or his first cup. My bad. Okay. Solid retirement class. What about goalies? Cam Talbot, Jake Allen, Korpisalo. Okay. So there is the retirement class. Matt Duchene is now a coach, which is kind of crazy. And in terms of coach retirements, did we lose anybody? We did lose Bobick in the minors. I think that might be a goalie coach. And in terms of our NHL team, we did not lose anybody. So we just got to replace Bobick in the offseason. And in terms of draft interviews, let me actually take a look at this quickly. Normally I don't do draft interviews that often, and I don't think I need to. At 7, we're guaranteed to get a top 6 forward that's decent, but I don't really want one. There's also this guy who might be medium elite. Ooh, actually I should probably interview this guy. Connor Vernarski. Guess maybe we won't even have to move up. He's like Mark-Edward Vlasic though, so he's not an OFD is the only thing. And has a weakness in character, which is not great. Looks like a guaranteed 2-way defenseman. I don't know if I could get that potential guaranteed. I could check if he's NHL ready for sure. So yeah, let me just quickly interview this guy just to see if he's NHL ready, which I think he might be. So if I go playstyle, was it? Yeah, readiness. And also I will go to his normal playstyle as well, just to see if he's actually 2-way. He's NHL ready. Wow, that's great. And how do you play on the ice? You're a 2-way defenseman, okay. That's good. Yeah, let's just end the conversation there. Thank you, Connor Vernarski. But this guy's a NHL ready 2-way defenseman. Not guaranteed to be medium elite. That's the only thing. But he looks like he might have shutdown, so he might be more defensively oriented. But if we don't want to move up in the draft, we could get Vernarski. Ooh. This guy's NHL ready as well. Lubomir Janus or Janus. And this guy's intriguing as well. We might not actually need to move up. P3 Herme looks 1 year out. Probably not medium elite, but still. There's some interesting players in this draft class. Peyton Pojar, what a name. Not as good. And yeah, then the draft class quality dips off. But Herme is probably a very good top 4 defenseman, I guess. And then Janus and Vernarski. Vernarski for sure is medium elite, I think. Janus might be, but he's definitely NHL ready, which is intriguing. The thing is, I think I need more defensemen and forwards, right? So we could always try and move up and get a defenseman if you guys think it's necessary, where we could try and grab ourselves Vandermeer, who's supposed to go at 4th. He fell back a few spots, but he looks like this. Then we also have Mika Virtanen, who's a 2-way defenseman, looks like this. And then there's also more of a defensive defenseman, looks like in Jeffrey Keeping. So if we want to move up a couple spots and grab ourselves a good defenseman, we can. Or we could hold on to our pick and go for somebody like Vernarski. But regardless, I think we're getting ourselves a good defensive prospect, which is nice. But unfortunately, we are not going to be getting this franchise guy who's going to be going to the St. Louis Blues, it seems like. So there is that. Now that we've seen that, let's take a look at our progress reports and our contract situation, and then that'll be it for this episode. So in terms of our prospect pool here, looks like a lot of growth. Michael Meese is up to a 91. Some of it's statistical growth though. We have Dag, who's up to an 85. Kagorodov's NHL ready, up to a 79. So we might have to start making some decisions. I would like to get this guy in at some point. He looks definitely more offensively oriented. Yeah, he looks more offensively oriented. Not the best face-off stats for a center, so he might be more utilized as a winger, but still, Mikhail Kagorodov, What else we got here for guys that coming up from the AHL? Palin's up to an 87 now, which is nice. And Hemming didn't get any growth. So a couple of guys didn't grow at all. Hemming and Kane, which is not great, but that's okay. In the system, we got a lot of growth, especially from our low leads. Louis Var's up to a 69 at 19. Bickle's up to a 59 at 19. And Jaqueezi up to a 71 at 19. Love to see it. Nordstrom up to a 73 is a low 4. Rafalski up to a 75. Rant up to a 71 at 21. I don't know if this guy's going to become the best low lead ever, but that's okay. And Roth up to a 60 at 19. Yeah, in general, we're getting very good growth, it looks like, from a lot of our prospects, which is very nice. A lot of these guys will probably jump to the AHL next year, and some of them might jump to the NHL within a few seasons. But in general, everybody's growing really well. Like Hurd's up to a 61 as well. We definitely still need to address the defensive prospect pool, but the offense and the goaltending pool seems to be developing really well. And yeah, Colby Barlow might be one of these guys that are not going to be making it, unfortunately, because he seems to have capped out around a 77. Grant didn't get any growth, which kind of sucks, but he looks like he might cap out around a 75. And yeah, Scarlett might be ready for the AHL next year, so that will be interesting. Or actually, he's not even AHL eligible, so we might want to play him on our defensive core next year, or we could wait another year, but he didn't really get any growth at all sitting out for the entire year, or maybe he did. We just have to wait till the start of next season. So there is our player growth. And final thing, the contract situation. Actually, I should also take a look if there's any late round steals for the draft. We'll definitely do that too. But all expiring. So all of our players that are up for renewal are RFAs, except for Kolyachonok, Thompson, and Svechkovsky, those type of guys. So UFA-wise, we don't need to really worry about anything at all this offseason. But RFA-wise, we got to start thinking if we want to sign guys long-term or not. Hellenius is up to an 85. Some of it might be statistical. He looks like he wants to get paid the big bucks if we sign him to 8 years, which is kind of nuts. So we got to think about how long we want Hellenius signed for. We also do have Kairu to sign. He wants $8 million right now, which is kind of ridiculous. But I know he does simulate well in franchise, so we could lock him up on like a 5-year deal if we really want to. We also have Lindstrom up for renewal. I don't know if Lindstrom's hugely in my future for this team or not, because he's not going to develop much. We also have Galvis. Yeah, Galvis doesn't look like he's going to develop much either, but we might want to lock up some of these guys a decent chunk. Hemming wasn't really that great, so I don't think he's going to do much. But some of these guys are just going to get qualified until their RFA status runs out pretty much. But we can have guys like Yakula jump into our lineup, and maybe we just like trade away somebody like Hemming or whatnot in our lineup so Yakula gets an opportunity, because Yakula was really good in the AHL last year. He had 50 assists, and he's a very good passer. So it would be interesting to get him into the lineup this season. From a goalie standpoint, we do have Dostal up for renewal, but we could always replace Dostal with somebody else. And then we have Deg, who's an RFA now, and he's trying to already get paid big bucks too, which I don't really know if I agree with. So a lot of these RFAs will probably end up just qualifying for a year, and for the off season, and trying to get them for cheaper for now. Some of them we might honestly sign long term, depending on what you guys think, just because obviously it would be good to have some of them locked up on decent contracts so we could kind of piece together that future. And final thing, let me take a look at the draft class again here. Other than our early pick, we want to know if there's any steals for later rounds. There's a medium league goaltender, Maximus Nash, who's 20 years old but 5 years out. And that's not great, but we'll still pin him anyways. We know about Vernarski and Herme. Laura Kynan, another goaltender that's 20 years old and 5 years out. Probably another guy that's just exactly like Nash, but we'll still pin him anyways. Is there any low lead steals? That's what I want to know about. Not sure yet. Marek Mishenko. He's supposed to go in the second round. He's looking like 3 years out, so he might be a low lead. He might be a top 6. Oleg Galiev might be low lead as well. We'll just pin a couple guys in case. We don't know for sure on these guys, but we might just take a chance on them anyways if we don't have anything else around our spot. But Kind of tough to tell if this draft class is actually going to be good or not, but early on we should be able to get some decent stuff with our pick, for at least from San Jose. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode. So in next episode, we will take it to the draft and re-sign stage, as we look to just add some more prospects to this pool, and also re-sign pretty much our entire team and go for another run next year, because a lot of our guys should get some good development and we should be even better next year. So let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.